Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Nest Podcast. This is a special Monday episode, which of course means we're going to be talking Game of Thrones. Zach and I are here, and we brought on our good buddy Garth, which some of you remember from previous episodes, and a new voice for you, Adam from the Bearded Ballesta. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Ballesta. That's how you say it.
Okay, cool, man. Welcome to the Nest. Welcome. It's your first time, and Garth, welcome back.
Ooh, thank you.
We brought these two extraordinary gentlemen on with us tonight because they're part of our 6-person panel that's going to be helping us review Game of Thrones all season long. So they'll be coming in and out for the next two and a half months or so. So get used to them, get used to their voices, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think is going to really happen in season 8, and it's going to evolve every time we talk, so it's going to be great. Adam, I know you do a lot of episodes on your podcast that focus specifically on Game of Thrones.
Yes, I do.
What all have you covered?
Okay, so I've covered a good amount. I thought I was going to cover a whole lot more when it came to it, but finding guests to come on and have an enticing conversation without having them agree with everything was very tough to find. I actually call it Castle Black Bourbon and Coffee. And we started off, we went to the Vegas odds. We talked about, who's going to sit on the Iron Throne from 10 down to 1 according to Vegas. The next episode we did who's going to die most likely, which obviously at the top it was all the Greyjoy kids and people. But we've talked about Bran Stark theories a little bit, which is my personal favorite thing to talk about. I love Brandon Stark and just that whole lineage of who he is pretty much, which we hopefully are going to get that paid off this season. Otherwise we'll have to wait for the books and see what George R.R. Martin's going to give us for that. I talked about Jaime Lannister being a Azor Ahai. There's that's one great thing about Game of Thrones is there's so many people in I'd say the world, but for this I'll say the realm, who love digging into fan theories, and they love talking about everything Game of Thrones. You can dissect it like you can Star Wars and Marvel and all these other film franchises, but we have this TV show where if you're someone like me and you love the Renaissance era and you love all the different fighting that goes behind it and all the weaponry, like this is your thing, and they throw dragons into it too.
Yeah, I know Garth is a huge fan of those dragons.
Woo! Yeah. No, dragons they're cool. I grew up with wizards and dragons and all the fantasy stuff with Tolkien and all that, and so Lord of the Rings was amazing, and now you get it's kind of like a darker Lord of the Rings with Game of Thrones. And you talk about Adam was mentioning fan theories and people delving into it. I don't remember personally for me something being like this since Lost. People talking about the episodes, just for days on end until the next one came out. I think this season's going to be a pretty big deal, and hopefully we'll get everything answered.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you have sitting on the throne at the end there, Garth?
Gendry.
Really? Okay. Do you see the whole Dany being his queen theory, or is it him by himself, or maybe Sansa?
I don't know. I think him with Sansa would be interesting, but I'm not sold on anybody but Gendry, just because I've still got this working theory that.
Let's hear it. What do you got?
Well, I think we covered it last episode. I think Gendry is not necessarily the bastard son of Robert Baratheon. I think he is Cersei's legitimate child that she had some maester get rid of because it came out dark-headed, and she knew that it was not Jaime's. She wanted to keep the Lannister bloodline pure, so when her first child was Robert Baratheon's, she just sent it off and maybe thought it was dead, or I don't know.
Do you think her plan all along was to have Lannister only children so that her clan could have all of the power?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, she mentions when early on when confronted about her and Jamie sleeping together, Ned Stark, I believe, was the one who confronted her. She said the Targaryens have been doing it for forever. So I think she's had that in her mind, had to have.
Do you think the prophecy of Maggie the Frog has anything to do with your little theory that pokes a hole in it? Because that prophecy says that she would only have 3 children and they would all be golden haired. And they would all die before her.
That's an interesting point.
I mean, I'm not trying to poke holes, but I am trying to poke holes.
No, that is, that's true. It could be, or that could be a red herring. Nothing would necessarily surprise me with this.
I mean, I base my whole idea that she's not really pregnant right now on that prophecy that she was only told that she would have 3 children, and she's already had 3.
Which
So
that makes sense too.
I think
Yeah.
she's full of shit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of speculation. I mean, it's it's just bullshit.
So if that's the case, and that Gendry then would be a bastard child of Robert Baratheon, does that still keep him in the running to be the one that sits on the Iron Throne at the end?
I don't know. In that sense, I think it would have to be, with a more powerful figure. Him not being a bastard is what would give him a rightful claim, at least, and a little more power.
I think they'll go a completely different way with Gendry. I think he'll be a master armorer that will be able to craft Valyrian steel. I think something that Sam has read or picked up on when he was at the Citadel will teach him how to make this stuff, but he just lacks the skill as an armorer to do it, whereas Gendry is the shit at that. So Sam's going to team up with him, and they're going to make Valyrian steel so that they can then fight the White Walker army.
Well, yeah, because Sam's going to become a wizard.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he is. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Oh, it's bet my life on it. Sam will be a wizard.
Yeah, I mean, they said that wizards couldn't be there because the dragons were gone, and when dragons died, magic died. I see dragons.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So, what about you, Adam? Who do you see ascending the stairs and sitting on the throne at the end, if anyone?
I mean, I don't know. It's very hard to buy into a certain specific theory that we've all heard, or I'm a guilty person myself. If I could say that there was one person that I think is part of this end game, it's Bran Stark. But kind of like you said, it could be a red herring. In the books, I think Bran Stark is gonna be a more prominent figure. He might have a bigger end game, but the way the show kind of went out, I mean, I think it was season 5. We barely got any Brandon Stark. I don't think he's going to be as big of a player in the show, maybe. But if I had to say anybody's going to sit on the Iron Throne, I'd say nobody. I think that's part of George R.R. Martin's, bittersweet ending is, yeah, the war to end all wars is kind of over with, but now there's no throne. Everyone's got to kind of have to rebuild or something along those lines. I mean,
they literally ended all the wars.
Yeah, something like that. And I mean, the what is it? His last book that's supposed to come out, it's called A Dream of Spring. So that could be something like a new awakening in a way. I mean, that's how I feel right now. Ask me again tomorrow or in 2 days, it could be something totally different.
That's what's going to be great about having you guys coming back over and over again is our theories are going to change every time something new happens in the show. So what we're saying today, we may not agree with, after we see episode 1 in a week and 6 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Something I do agree with you on, though, Brandon, is when we talked about, I believe Tormund, when you brought up Tormund to me, and I didn't think about it, but I'm totally on board with Tormund and Beric probably being the first victims at the beginning of this show, or the beginning of this last season.
Yeah, I've heard you mention that a few times on your show, and I always am like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the way it's going to happen. I'm trying to spread the word for that for sure.
Garth shaking his head.
Well,
They got to die at some point.
I'm just Tormund can die, but him and Brienne's got to happen. They've got to make a beast child.
I honestly think that if anybody is going to end up with Brienne, it's going to be Jaime.
Yeah. I think that might be the case.
Yeah, that would
I
make
think
sense.
I think that's just the internet darling relationship that everybody's cheering for. And if Twitter wasn't a thing, no one would even really think about that.
Yeah, Jamie's gonna kill Cersei and put an end to that whole ordeal, or something's gonna happen to her, and then he's gonna end up maybe not happily ever after, but he's gonna end up with Brienne somehow.
Zach, you're the best co-host in the world because I'm so glad that you said Jamie's going to kill Cersei, because that sets me up for the second half of my prophecy from Maggie the Frog. In the show, we don't see this, but in the books, it goes into detail to say that Cersei is going to die by some word in Valerian that translates into the hands of your younger brother.
The Valonqar.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh wow.
Look at him on point with this shit.
Tip of my tongue. Tip of my tongue.
So that the hands of her younger brother, she's been well documented that she's the elder sibling between her and Jaime. Of course, Tyrion could also fit that bill.
Yeah.
So,
or maybe Tyrion will do it. Yeah, I mean, it would make a little bit more sense coming from the animosity that he has toward her. But Jaime could be like, "I'm sick of your shit. This has to end."
Yeah, he's Tyrion's been kind of the bastard child of the Lannisters for his entire life, but Jaime is now possibly a scorned lover, giving him the more feminine role in that relationship because she definitely wears the pants. He's more of a scorned lover, and hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Yeah,
yep.
It is what it is. But do you think that Jaime or Tyrion will get to Cersei, or do you think that she'll be able to elude all of that and run off the Essos or Essos, whatever it's called? I've heard both theories floated around pretty equally. So,
no, I think she'll definitely die, and I think she'll come back as a White Walker character. You know how we were talking about there'll be several big characters that will be White Walkers. I think she'll be one of them, and she'll be tearing shit up as the undead or whatever you want to classify them as.
Okay.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've not heard that at all.
I just made it up.
Oh, wow. On the spot coming up with shit.
We're going to check social media tomorrow, and there's going to be 5 new theories based off of what you just said.
I hope so.
But
I have no basis in that. It's just, it sounds like an interesting thing for the show to do. And why not? I mean, she's basically everyone's most hated character. And what better thing to do with her than to make her into, a big enemy?
That's not bad, Zach. Cersei is the type of character that's so hungry for power, so hungry for the throne. Who's to say she wouldn't allow herself to be taken by the Night King as the Night Queen?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I mean, it's not so far out of the realm that it's not plausible.
Yeah.
Talk about the ultimate bitch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The ultimate fuck everyone. I'm just gonna let this thing kill me so that I can be its queen forever.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Well, do they even have to kill you? I mean, you've seen when the White Walker touches a baby, it just turns into a White Walker.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it could just be like we accept you or steal your soul or whatever.
We'll turn you or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I like
that. I mean, but you also got all of the good guys that are going to be banding up together. We've seen that if you kill a walker, everything that it's, risen also dies. So if the Night King were to die, all the walkers would die, right?
Is that how that works?
I mean, what is it? Harrenhal? That's where they find that? Or is it
Harrenhal? I think, yeah. What are you talking about?
It might be in season 7, but they're all getting attacked, and I think it's Jon kills one of the Walker generals or whatever, and then everything just kind of falls to dust. that's
Oh, wow.
around it.
But was
And
that
that's how they escaped.
was that just that one character he killed though, or was that everyone that was kind of under his command?
It was everyone that was under his command is
Okay.
what it made it look like.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
But to that point, if you're able to kill the Night King and it gets rid of all of the White Walkers, and Bran is the Night King, who's to say he doesn't sacrifice himself for the benefit of the living?
Yeah. And that was one of your theories, wasn't it? That Bran is the Night King or something like that.
Well, I mean, it's that whole popular internet theory that Bran is the Night King and he's kind of a time traveler or whatever. I kind of just bit onto that and subscribed to that one early on.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm thinking about it more, like maybe his human side would win out and he would discover that he's the Night King and then, off himself or whatever so that he doesn't kill everyone. And then you get the happy ending at the end that everybody wants.
I don't want
Tormund.
that. I don't want a happy end. I mean, I want it to be, happier kind of ending, but man, if it's all sunshine and rainbows, I'm like, why'd you put us through all this shit for 8 seasons? And then it's, everyone's all having, I don't know. I think that something bad's gonna have to happen. I think either John or Danny needs to die in order for me to,
100%.
I hope it's Danny, to be honest. I don't think John can really die. He's already died once. And I feel like he is, I think the whole Song of Ice and Fire, I think that he is Ice and Fire. I've had people that say, oh, I think it's Danny, or I think it's both of them. I think it's just John. I think Danny is there for kind of a, character, build-up story throughout the show, someone we can follow, like a top character. But I think this is all going to be about John, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point, because like if you look at it from just a main character perspective, he's almost like the main character of the entire show. It basically starts out as he's getting kicked out of the Stark family and has to go join the what is it called?
The Night's Watch.
The Night's Watch.
And then it just his story basically, and there's a bunch of side characters.
Am I the only one that always wants to call the Night's Watch the Dark Brotherhood?
I literally almost called it that.
I always think of that. You guys never played Oblivion or Skyrim or anything?
No,
I played
I've heard
Skyrim.
It though. Yeah, that's where that comes from.
Yeah. Anyway,
you're good.
But yeah, he's almost like the main character of that whole show. Like if you think about it, if you take a step back and see, we've followed him this whole time. Granted, we followed several characters, but he's been definitely on the top of the main character list of people that we just follow no matter what they're doing.
He's Luke Skywalker, man.
Right.
I think that's the obvious choice, though.
Yeah.
With this show has so many twists and turns, and I can't subscribe to that. It would be too much of a sunshine and rainbow ending for me if Jon Snow were to be the Iron Throne.
I definitely think whoever makes it to the throne is going to be not who we think. It's not going to be a big main character that everyone just, oh yeah, I knew it was going to be this person or that. That's definitely going to be a shocker.
What if the individual that sits on the Iron Throne at the end is the unborn baby that is from Jon and Danny, and that is a Song of Ice and Fire, and the whole 8 seasons of Game of Thrones is pretty much How I Met Your Mother.
That's a good one too. A Song of Ice and Fire, a song about How I Met Your Mother. That's hilarious.
I think it'd be funny if like you pull away, like the last scene, you see somebody sitting on the Iron Throne, and then they just pull their face away, and it's like Jack and Hagar. This whole time.
I mean, that would make as much sense as a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about, honestly. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either. Adam, give me one of your craziest theories or whatever, something that you don't really think would happen, but you think would be badass if it did.
So, and I think I might be a little wrong about this, but when I watched not this most recent trailer that came out today, but I think the one before that, you see Arya running through Winterfell, almost like her own horror movie in a way. I didn't really realize there were windows, but I thought, how cool would it be if everyone took refuge shelter down in the crypts of Winterfell. And it's a sacred kind of place that people aren't really supposed to be down there unless you're Stark. But let's say that through Winterfell, things are obviously going south. The Starks and everybody that's up there, they're losing their shit. And then all of a sudden, the Night King does this little let's raise everyone up, and then you have a dead version of Eddard Stark and Catelyn Stark and all the Starks that are buried down there, and they turn into White Walkers. And what if Arya is running from that, and they just CGI'd or took those people out of that scene in order to not give it away? But
That'd be wild.
I think that would be crazy. Like, holy shit, Sean Bean with blue eyes. What the hell?
That would be awesome to get to see him kind of come back into the series, even if he's a white and doesn't say anything or do anything except try to kill people. Just because whenever he died off in the first season, I think a lot of people, myself included, threw up their hands and just yelled "what the fuck" as loud as they possibly could, because like that was one of the main reasons that I
watched the show.
Initially bought into the show. Was like, oh, this dude's a badass,
Sean Bean's a great actor. I was shocked because I didn't read the books like most people didn't before the show. But you watch the show and you're like, holy shit, they killed off the top billed actor in the first season. Like, what the hell is going on? But
yeah, that hooked a lot of people.
Spoiler alerts are going to be in this episode.
I mean,
if you haven't watched the show, you're probably not listening to this podcast. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. The world's too soft, damn it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, spoilers.
And obviously, every episode that we do, we will cover the night previous's episode. So if you haven't watched it, hold off. But that'll be really fun. I'm excited to dive into the episodes.
I am too. Garth, do you have any insane theories other than Gendry being on the Iron Throne?
No, I think Jaime will kill Cersei. It's not necessarily insane, but I think that'll happen. Nothing you guys haven't covered or anything any crazier. I like the idea of the Night King on the throne with Dany, just because of the dragons.
The one that I pitched last time that we
yeah.
Okay.
I've thought about it. I like it. But that's just as valid as about any other theory.
Do you think the Night King will have any more depth than he has? Because he doesn't talk as of yet. He doesn't interact with anything. He's just staring off into the distance and killing people. For me, I think it would be kind of nice if he were more of a character and he could get into some kind of, a conflict of some sort with the character and be like, hey, either I kill you now or you join me and this and that and the other. That would kind of be more interesting than what we have right now with him.
Would you more so want to see him be like his own character or be somebody else?
Yeah, I would like him to just be a character on the show instead of this mystical person that's just on a quest to kill everyone for no apparent reason.
See, and I think we're owed that.
I think it's more terrifying that he's like that, because you have this silent killer who's coming after you and you have no fucking clue why, other than people have been saying for millennia that winter is coming.
Yeah, but if it does turn out to be like he does get on the Iron Throne and he does kill everyone or whatever, I'll throw my hands up and be like, what the fuck was the point of all that?
See, that's why, when I was pitching my idea before, the end scene would have to be, we see the Night King walking into the throne room. Maybe it's burnt down and it's just all rubble, but the throne remains, and the Night King is just walking through this apocalyptic looking red keep, and you can tell it's the Night King. It shows its face or whatever, blah blah blah. As it sits down in the throne, it's Bran Stark's face.
Yeah,
that's some dark shit.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how you give that character that injection of a boost,
and that would make sense as to why he's not a character yet. It's like, well, we're holding something back and going to drop a bomb on you at the end. That would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big mystery for a reason. I mean, we didn't know who Jon Snow's parents were until this final season or most previous season. So, but yeah, I think Bran Stark is definitely, he is either the Night King or he has something to do with that character for sure. There's a reason that every time he wargs that they have this, you know,
Connection.
yeah, this connection. It's just, there's definitely something there. And I think that although the Night King, him being this, you know, miscellaneous, terrifying kind of being, almost like Satan in a way, but ice. I think that we're somewhat owed him being an actual character. There's a reason that he is intertwined with the Stark family. I think that is the key to this whole thing, is that these Starks go back with the first men, obviously Bran the Builder, and I think that is potentially, you know, going to be something to do with the Night King.
Yeah, I'm on board with that as well.
That would make sense.
But, I mean, who knows? I mean, he could rip off his face mask and be Ellen DeGeneres for all I know. I mean,
I kind of want to see him do like a flash mob of Thriller.
White Walker.
Thriller.
Yeah, just all of him doing Thriller. Yeah.
I bet something like that comes out from all this. Like a blooper reel that comes out, you know, around Halloween or some shit. And it's, oh
Like
man,
an SNL skit.
that's $1 million idea though, for real.
Yeah. Now that Jason Momoa is a huge like person, I bet he'll be back in some form or another for this last season. Maybe as a White Walker or something.
No, I don't. He died.
You don't
on
think
the
so?
He died on the other continent.
Yeah,
Like,
he's an Essos. I don't think that's, yeah. But hey, I mean, maybe he's in a flashback or something.
Yeah.
that would be more likely than seeing him as a Walker, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I definitely think he's a huge celebrity now. So they're probably going to try to, like a cameo of some sort.
They're all big now. It's crazy. That's why I think they cut this to only 8 seasons. This could go on for 12 seasons if you think about it. But they're going, look, each of these guys is making what, like $2 million an episode or something like that. Something outrageous.
Something crazy, yeah.
And you got like 10, you know, characters that start off, you know, on the D list. You know, you're paying them like, you know, a pair of tube socks and $5 every episode. Now you're paying them $2 million. You can't afford to keep this going, unfortunately, because man, I would love to see this.
They're doing the spin-offs and all that stuff. So
are the main characters of the original show going to be on those? Do we know?
I doubt it.
I don't think so
either. I think they're going to be like prequels.
I heard, something we're getting is like a background for the Targaryen family. So that would be cool.
The one that I really would love to see is Robert's Rebellion.
That would be great.
Yeah, I want to see a young Robert going ham with his fucking warhammer. Yeah, that would be badass.
Seeing Jaime kill the Mad King would be freaking cool.
Right. I mean, we would know how it ends, and you know all the things that are about to happen. It would just be really cool to see how they present it on camera. You know.
I think Robert's Rebellion would. I mean, just watch Braveheart.
Valid point.
Actually, a buddy of mine, I got a little group text with 2 buddies of mine that were in the Navy, and we're always hating on Star Wars now because we don't like the direction that Disney's going with it. If you ever listen to my podcast, you'll hear it over and over how much I bash on The Last Jedi. There's an article that came out today. It says Star Wars, Rian Johnson will direct first in Game of Thrones showrunners trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you don't know, Rian Johnson's the director for The Last Jedi. But that's an article today. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Well, it is what it is, I guess.
I don't know if you can Disneyfy Game of Thrones.
They'll figure a way out.
Too many titties.
At least it's on HBO still.
Yeah,
there's incest, man. Come on.
Yeah. Disney waits until they're 21 before they start fucking up with their stars.
That's a good point.
Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. We thank you for your theories and your thoughts, and we will definitely have you guys back in the next couple weeks. Adam, why don't you tell everybody where they can find your podcast, and so they can go and like and subscribe your shit too?
Yeah, guys. So I'm on the Bearded Ballista podcast or Bearded Ballista channel. You can find me on Podbean if you don't have an Apple phone, or if you have Apple, I'm on the iTunes podcast app. And on Instagram, my tag name is bearded_ballista. You can find me there. I upload trailers, teaser videos, and I get into a lot of fan theory talk as well. So you can find me there.
Yeah, and he'll be tagged in all of our posts for our podcast as well. So make sure you check him out. And Garth, I know you don't have an official page or anything that you want to promote, but do you have anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Hey, I got that one Tumblr.
Is that still a thing that people use?
Well, I guess I don't know, but no, don't go to my Tumblr. It's or do. It's horribly offensive. But if y'all can find it, good luck.
That's a
all
treasure
more
hunt.
power to you. Yeah. But if you do, send me a question. Thanks.
All right. So Zach, anything?
No. Like I said, I'm super excited to break down these episodes. I'm sure the first episode will blow several things out of the water. And like we said before, at least 2 characters are going to be killed off right away. They're gonna start this off with a bang. And I'm excited to go over it with everyone here. So
Yeah, we're
stay
not
tuned.
ready. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
And I'm gonna gloat whenever it's Tormund that's the first that's dead.
Fucker.
See you guys next week.
See ya.